Are you missing out on potential wins because you're avoiding certain hands on the card? Are you afraid or intimidated by concealed hands? How come you avoid them? They're not harder hands, they just have some restrictions, but not as many as you think. So let's take a moment to look at the concealed hands. If you want, pause the video, look at the concealed hands, and see what they have in common. For the 2025 card, other than one concealed hand, all of the rest of them are only made up of singles, pairs, and pungs. So what this means to us is you don't have to get to four of a kind. So if you don't have jokers especially, it could be really helpful not needing a Kong. And this might offset the need to call a tile and make an exposure, because in concealed hands, there's no exposures. To remember which hands are concealed, the league made it really convenient for us and listed them, if there is one, at the bottom of each section. Since you could pivot throughout the game, if you start getting tiles towards another hand, you could always switch since you haven't made any exposures. You're not married to the hand, you haven't made any exposures, and it's easy to swap when you start getting other tiles. Concealed just means you can't expose, no exposures, until you have your 14th winning tile. You could still do a joker exchange, and we're going to get to that on the next graphic. You could still pick your winning tile, and although many of you were taught differently, you can still call your winning tile. And we hear those text messages being typed. What do you mean you could call a winning tile for concealed? For both concealed or exposed hand, if a tile is thrown that is your 14th tile that you need for Mahjong, other than a correctly named discarded joker, you can call any current discard, even if you're using it for a single, a group of singles, or a pair, and whether you're playing a concealed or exposed hand. And another benefit of a concealed hand is you're not having exposures that give tells. So if you've been watching these daily talk of the tiles, we've been doing this over the past few days talking about tells. Exposures give information about your hand. And when you're playing concealed, you're not giving information. So we heard some of you asking, how can you do a joker exchange? You're not doing a joker exchange and then exposing the joker. You're usually putting it in your rack. You're either calling Mahjong, because by changing the joker, it gave you the joker exchange, which is actually a self-pick Mahjong, or you're placing it in your rack, discarding another tile, or if you don't need the joker, you could just discard it. So you are not making an exposure just because you did a joker exchange. So we hope this expanded your view of the card and invite you to try to go for that concealed hand. And if worse comes to worse and you're not making it, you could switch to another hand. There's no exposures yet. We're moving on to singles and pairs number 4, which conveniently is a concealed hand. It's a pair of flowers, and then every suit you need any 3 consecutive numbers. So the numbers have to repeat. So it's not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You must do the same consecutive numbers. So if you do 7, 8, 7, 8, 7, 8 throughout the whole hand in all 3 suits. This is a concealed hand and by definition, jokerless. Comment below and let us know if this inspired you to go for a concealed hand. You're invited to where? You're invited to email us. If you're thinking of planning an event for your group, your clubhouse, your company, we travel for Mahjong and would love to collaborate with you. Email us at modernmahjong@gmail.com. We have our events coming up. Back Meet, Eat, Play, Repeat is starting up again. Our next event is in Orlando on September 10th. We're going back to Aventura on September 18th. And then we have 3 events at Clive Daniel Home, Fort Myers November 5th, Naples November 6th, and in November, November 12th in Boca. And our Sarasota date will be in January. We just haven't picked the date yet. If you're looking to learn to play canasta, you're in good company. Join Donna Miller-Small and I to learn how to play live on Zoom. And if you can't make all lessons, we will have the replay available for a full month. What would you like us to discuss in our next daily talk of the tile? We love hearing from players that tell us that this is helping them learn and reinforce lessons. As you could tell, we don't gatekeep information because we want everyone to play with confidence. There's so much misinformation out there, and we're going to keep trying to get the correct information so you could recognize the rules and then determine with your group if you want to play by house rules. We hope that you like, comment, save, and most importantly, share so everybody can play with confidence. Thanks for joining us. Have a great day, and of course, a great game.